Welcome back, my friends. It's been a while. It's been a busy couple of months since the last time I saw you, and it's been a little erratic, both just getting things done, the weather, lots of different stuff going on. I was kind of burning the candle at both ends, getting multiple projects done at the same time, and really didn't have a great deal of time to do much filming. I just wanted to kind of get things done. So this is an update on what's going on at the cottage in general. Lots of been going on. The weather has been up and down. We've had lots of rainstorms, and then hot intense heat, and then rain, and then sun and rain, and on and off, and it's just a matter of me like trying to manage my time, appropriately, trying to get stuff done so that I can stay active and get everything that I want done taken care of. So I'm going to be showing you a couple of things in this video of the things I've been taking care of. Obviously, we're going to go take a look at the garden first, and then once that is taken care of, we will take a look at another project, a couple of projects that I've been working on. So let's go into the garden first, and then we'll come back here. All right, going up the garden path here. Whew, it is just oppressively hot. Oh, lots going on, and yet not a lot going on. So right now, this bed is close to being done. Although I did plant some basil over here just to get things going, because the next phase of the plan will be to tear this all out and start my fall garden. So the garlic it's getting there. It's starting to yellow a little bit, and I mean, I'm already seeing people pull up their garlic, so it's going to be soon, which is great. They look wonderful. Oh, I just noticed that I missed a garlic scape. No matter. So this is going to come out. These are all my potatoes. They look amazing. They're going to be up soon. Remember, I've got Kennebec on this side and then Yukon Gold on the other side. Behind all of that, I have some winter squash growing, and some of them are starting to go up the trellising in the back, but the others are kind of trailing, which will be fine, because when I have all this out, it'll give them room to do their thing. I do have some sweet corn back here that's kind of mixed in with some weeds. I haven't gotten in there because I've had it sealed up like a fortress. So, but it's growing. It was knee-high by the 4th of July, so that's a good sign. Over here, I've got this huge oregano plant that I need to start harvesting tons and tons of it, just to cut it back because it's starting to fall over and everything. I planted more basil over here, and then not too long ago I put in a few rows of navy beans. So we're gonna get those going till the end of this summer, where I can harvest all of them, which is great. Navy beans are wonderful. I've got to be careful because there's actually a mink that is living back here, and yeah, the fun never stops. It's like National Geographic. A mink. Unbelievable. Here's my onion beds. They're coming along very well. I'm very pleased. The red onions are looking a lot happier than the white onions. I do need to keep them watered. But I mean, we've been having so much torrential rain that it hasn't really been that much of a problem. So I'm gonna let those ride. I did give it a good weed not too long ago, and the weeds are already growing back. My tomatoes are looking amazing. Absolutely incredible. I have a lot of flowers and no fruit yet, but and I've got some tying up to do, but I've been really on top of both the weeding and the tying up, so they're looking nice. I've got a nice little path here. These are mortgage lifter tomatoes. Over here are the okay, let me remember. Mortgage lifter, Amish paste. This is a plum tomato, and this is a plum tomato. Okay, but they're beautiful. I've already taken a lot of suckers off and rooted them. I've given them to my father, who wanted some more tomato plants, which is super. The eating cucumbers are really starting to do their thing. They're really climbing up now, and I'm starting to get some fruit forming, which is great. I'll have cucumbers in no time. These are the eating cucumbers. Over here are the pickling cucumbers. And again, I haven't gotten anything off of them yet, but I do have some signs of vegetables. So, fruit. The peppers are doing well. They're not as big and blousy as I usually have them, which is, you know, I don't know what the deal is, but I've been mulching them and watering them regularly. But I do, let's see, I do have some fruit starting to grow. These are all YOLO Wonder. They did really, really well for me on this side. And then over here, I've got the Corno di Toro. There we go. So those are gorgeous. And I canned a bunch of those last year and they did really, really well. Over here on this end, I do have some cayenne. So I've got 4 plants of cayenne. Again, looking kind of sad. Eggplant is in the back here and something's been chewing at them, so they haven't, I got them started early, but now it seems that they're, you know, had a bit of a setback, which is fine, I always kind of go gangbusters with this and then I don't know what to do with them. So, you know, if I get a few for fresh eating, that's wonderful. Let's circle back over here. I have in here the last 2 of the colettes that I'm growing for the Colette Challenge, Colette Crazy 2023. That's Will, the Flying Gardener. Open these up. And they're doing okay. They're getting tall now. The netting has been a huge help. I did have a few more that were nibbled down by probably slugs or the like. I'm not sure what, but 2 of them are still going, so I'm happy about that. I'm still in this game. I did plant a row. I'm gonna try to get down here. I don't know if you can see it because it's so bright out here, but I've got some rutabaga that's starting to pop up. I planted on the 1st of July. That's for Danny Price's Sweetabaga Challenge. So we'll see how that goes. He's over on the Grapevine Garden. Under this one, I've got some broccoli that's growing really, really tall. I don't have any florets yet, but that's fine. And some cauliflower through here as well. I had more plants again. They were nibbled. So I've got 2 cauliflower plants, but I'll be planting more of both of these for that bed. I'll come back to that and discuss what I'm going to put in there. Sunflower, a big, huge swarm of, not the traditional sunflower, but the Mexican sunflower, Tithonia. Those are going to be lovely. And I just kind of threw the rest of the seed that I had in there and they went crazy. So I'm going to have tall, beautiful blooms, and then I can collect the seeds and restock my seed collection. The cabbage is doing amazingly. Look at that. And they're starting to ball up, so won't be long now before I can get some cabbages. And this is green cabbage through here. This netting has been amazing. Again, I can't stress it enough, both for the cabbage white butterfly and for critters. It really does the trick. I'd like to cover the whole gosh darn garden in it, to tell you the truth. And then I've got just 2 rows of red cabbage in here. So, and those are doing well. There's a little bit of slug damage on the leaves, but no biggie. The Tasha Tudor garden is coming along. It looks very, I mean, I sowed all these quite late, so, and it is a little weedy. I need to get in here and start doing some weeding, but you can see that there are lots of flowers that are going to be coming up. I've got some smaller sunflowers in here. There's some cosmos. Okay. Um, there's a marigold here. Very nice. This is a very small Rudbeckia. And my herbs are, they're getting established. So here's some yarrow. It's small, but that's fine. It's a perennial. It'll come back. Rosemary's looking nice. I've got some thyme in here. This really needs a good watering. And yeah, just little things here and there. Some catnip. And ooh, I can smell that rosemary. Some horehound. Everything's really small. The motherwort is absolutely massive. And I got some sage here. And yeah, I gotta get in here and weed. Now I know somewhere in this mess I do have some tulsi. That's holy basil, so there's some here. And I'm seeing like bachelor buttons and all sorts of stuff. This is St. John's wort. This is looking nice. I've never had success with that. And some parsley. Oh, what else do I have in here? Okay, you can see some of those hollyhocks. Those are the first year hollyhocks. I'm gonna get in here and probably sprinkle some seed for some foxgloves so that I can get some next year. The center section is really gonna be a showstopper. I'm seeing a whole lot of flowers and not a lot of weeds. So some zinnias are in here, some cosmos. You can see over here we've got some calendula that's popping up, looking beautiful. Bachelor buttons, a cornflower. We know what this is. So there's nasturtiums in there, all sorts of lovely things. And then some mint in these raised beds, and then I've got some flowering balsam in there with them too. This all needs a really, really good water. It's amazing how drenched these gardens get, and then 2 seconds later they're completely dried out because the heat has been so horrible. Well, I guess there was, I guess there's no confusion as to whether this was lamb's ear or mullein. Definitely mullein, and they're gorgeous. And I've been picking these flowers regularly and drying them for oils and tinctures. So the lemon balm has gone mad. I need to get in here and harvest and dry some of these for sure. This other mullein, okay, it's about, I'd say about 7 feet tall. It's definitely taller than me. So, it's still very early. I feel like in a couple of weeks this is gonna just look gorgeous, and I'm looking forward to it. So in here is a weedy mess. I've yet to get in here. Lots of grass on the paths and stuff. So I need to get in here and take care of that. But my beans are really climbing up now, and these are bush beans. Okay, Blue Lake, and I see that they're forming flowers, which means I'm going to start getting some beans off of them pretty soon. And my lettuce is doing really, really well, despite all the weeds. This bed, probably due to the proximity of this tree, is not doing well. And everything has pretty much been munched. All of my kale, with the exception of the kale that's in the back here, and the celery has been eaten. My beets have been eaten. Everything's been eaten. So I don't know what's gotten in there. I thought this was locked up like Fort Knox, but oh well. Oh, let's head back to the big bed, the potato bed. So this is the perfect time to start growing more brassicas, starting from seed, so that you can extend your garden into the fall, and that's what I'm going to be doing. So once all of this is up, and I'm most likely going to be canning all of these potatoes. Some of them do store well. My problem is where to store them. I don't have any storage place for fresh potatoes. I don't have a cellar. I don't have a root cellar. I don't have really a cool place anymore. These two varieties can pretty well. Anyways, I do have some zucchini back here. It's small, okay, right now, but I'll get some fruit off of it. It's not going to be a crazy zucchini year, and that's fine. So once all of this is out, and you can see this is a pretty big bed, so I'm going to have a lot of growing space. beets. I'm going to do beets. I'm going to do kohlrabi. I'm going to do cauliflower. Maybe I'll do some more cabbage. I'm going to do lettuce, some more lettuce. I might do another round of peas. Anything that can withstand the colder temperatures of the autumn is what's going to be going in here. Some kale. Hopefully, you know, this location will be much better than the other one, but it'll be good. I'll be able to really pack it all in rows, several rows, and hopefully get as much as I can in the way of a harvest before the snow flies. I don't want to talk about snow right now, but yeah, so that's the plan. And I'm looking forward to the fall end of the garden. It's just going to be, you know, sowing seeds, sowing and doing all of that. I'll direct sow some. I'm going to start some in pots soon. Probably when I'm done with this video. So over there is just some spaghetti squash and some acorn squash and some butternut squash. So we'll see how that goes. But flying by the seat of my pants, guys, there's just no doubt about it. I'm not, you know, it's either torrential rain pours or oppressive hot heat, trying to get as much done as possible. And yeah, I'm really bad at social media and filming, I've decided. It's just a matter of me just getting stuck in and getting it done. So yeah, sorry if these are just all updates, but you know, it is something. I am making sure to keep on top of things the best I can. So, and I don't want to leave you guys in the lurch. So, all right, let's head back to the patio. So I'm pleased with everything that's going on in the garden right now. I am. Everything seems to be growing well. I've got to get in to do some weeding, obviously. Who doesn't this time of year? But, you know, the rain that we've been having, these on and off rain spells, have actually been really great because I haven't had to do much watering, which, you know, I think I've said it a million times, that's one of the least favorite things that I like to do in the garden. And then, of course, mowing the paths. So I'm happy about that. That's wonderful. And one of these days, when I get a couple of good, nice, warm days that aren't too humid, because the humidity has been terrible, I want to get out and do some laundry too. I haven't used that yet. So another project that I've been working on is actually in the house, and it's going to be in a room that you have never seen before. And I just want to kind of explain the evolution of that room. So when I moved in, that room was initially used to teach. I would teach lessons after school, and I'd have students come to my house and I'd give them one-on-one lessons, and I used it for that purpose for a very long time, and it was a great little room for that. I had a piano in there, and I had all my music and my music stands, all of my kit, and it was just a perfect space, and it was intimate. It was nice. I wasn't sitting across a very large room or anything like that, and it functioned well. And then after the pandemic, I just stopped teaching. I kind of realized that the time off that I had after school was something that I treasured, and being able to come home from work after a full day of teaching and then not having to teach for another, you know, 3 or 4 hours, I loved it, and it was really good for my mental well-being, amongst other things. So the room sat for a couple of years, and then it turned into kind of like my pantry in a way, because I don't have a lot of storage in this house. So I would store all of my processed food and my produce and everything. It's a very cold room to begin with. It doesn't get the heat that the rest of the house gets for some reason. I'm not sure why, but it was the perfect place. I had all my canning jars. I had shelves set up. I had all my winter squash, my potatoes, and my onions. Everything stored in there. I had drapes up, so there was no sunlight at all, and it worked really well. But then I decided that that room is a functional room and could be used as what it was intended to be, which is a bedroom. And so I painstakingly had to clean that room out, and it was just filled with things. The piano that I had in there, I had two pianos in this tiny house. That piano I donated to my elementary school, and so that my good friend and my coworker who teaches the general music classes could have a really beautiful piano to play on. So that got moved. I had to wait for that to happen. It was just, going through all the red tape to make that happen. Once the piano was out, I had to clear everything out, and then I was down into this shell of a room. And then slowly but surely, I had to, you know, take off all of the moldings and the trim work and everything like that. And then I had a fun time kind of brainstorming what I wanted to do with the room. And I decided that I wanted to go for kind of like an early American. It's kind of riding off the whole Tasha Tudor thing. I wanted to go with something simple, something like I said, early American, primitives. I kind of like that look. Excuse me, I'm being attacked by a bug. And then I wanted to do something that would brighten the room up, because even though it had that Hubbard squash colored paint on it, it was kind of a dark room. So I knew I wanted to brighten the room up. So along with that, I started a refinishing project, and it was a piece of furniture that I've had for a while now that you might recognize. I'll show you when we get in there, but I moved it from its one place, took it into the garage, completely refinished it, and made that the focal point of the room. So without further ado, let us go to now the guest bedroom, and you can see what it looks like now. All right. This is like the 10th time I've retaken this. I kept being interrupted. Oh my goodness. So here is the guest bedroom. I love the way that it turned out. I love the contrast of the wainscoting, the chair rail against the white paint, and then the little snap of color in the crown molding. That color, by the way, is called Dutch China blue. Dutch pottery blue. Dutch tile blue. It's Dutch tile blue. I knew it was something like that. So yeah, I wanted to go for something kind of early American. That's the kind of the vibe I'm getting in this room. So I just love that color. But first and foremost, here is that door that I refinished. It is now on its hinges, which was a job because it's an old oak door and it weighed a bazillion pounds. But I'm really excited. This is going to be a cute little guest bedroom. I know the bed is rather huge in this little room, but if I have a guest stay here, I kind of want them to be able to spread out. I don't want to put them in a twin size bed like they're 12 years old again. But this was my mom's bedroom when she was growing up. This bed is actually original to the house. This belonged to my grandparents, and it's mid-century, but it's got a kind of a old-fashioned, primitive look about it. And it's hard rock maple. It weighs a ton. And I just love the cannonball detail on the posts. It's really quite lovely. So yeah, it's just, I tried to go very simple. This room is simple. If you see the rest of my house, which is kind of extra, it's a little over the top, but it's cozy. And I've been waiting to do this for such a long time. I'm really, really happy how it turned out. The bedspread is actually original to the house too. That belonged to my grandparents. My mom gave that to me. Most of everything in here has been either given to me, has been garbage picked, or I've inherited. There's just a couple things that I actually outright purchased. This isn't one of them, though. This little end table is something I garbage picked about a couple weeks before the end of school year. I was driving to school. I saw it. It was about to rain. I got out of my car, shoved it in the back, and went to school. And then I looked at it later. I liked the way that it looked. Has kind of an early colonial design to it. I like the Chippendale legs. And I got it home. I cleaned up really, really well. I haven't had to refinish it or anything. And I come to find out that this is actually, it's a Pennsylvania House limited edition cherry, solid cherry end table. And Pennsylvania House actually went out of business. I don't know how long it was, but this retailed at about $350 for this end table. Yeah. And I got it for free on the curbside. Amazing. I also got this beautiful toll lamp in somebody's garbage as well, and it works perfectly fine. Now the little like candelabra portion of it, the candle, fake candle parts don't actually match, but I don't care. It was free and it works. It amazes me what people throw out. It really does. So yeah, garbage picking. I've turned it into an art form, really. This piece is actually something my great-grandmother made. My great-great-grandmother, I'm so sorry, my great-great-grandmother. And it's a felted, I know the reflection's coming off the window. It's felted in the front, and then it's embroidered little embellishments here. And I just love the way that it looked. So one of the few things that I purchased was this shadow box to keep it in there. And it's lovely. And she made it for my grandmother. And she has it. It's embroidered in the back. You can't see it, but it says her name in embroidery. And I think this was made in like 1914, 1915, around there. And just some simple artwork. This is Currier knives, and this came out of a calendar. And my grandmother kept these prints because she loved early American. She loved Currier knives, and yeah. So what else do I have in here? Oh my goodness, these curtains were a cast off of my sister's. She moved into a house and didn't like them. So I told her I'll take them, and I think they look beautiful in here. Kind of goes with that red, white, and blue theme we've got. I'll come back to that in a second. I do have, this is more of a mid-century modern reproduction. I was just going to turn the camera over on its side. And it's got that kind of early American, that colonial look to it. So I thought it belonged in here. It used to be my other bedroom. My mom gave me this quilt rack that she got at the thrift shop for bare bones, for nothing, for pennies. And it was great because it would give me an opportunity to actually showcase these handmade quilts that were made. These are actually this one is from my great-great-grandmother, the same woman who did the other thing over there on the wall. And she made this for my great-great-uncle Donald, and there's a date of 1904 on this pinwheel quilt. And then another quilt that I believe my great-grandmother made, and it's the engagement rings and then the heart motif, and that's very, very old too. Beautiful. These were all handmade, hand-stitched, gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous pieces. The doors here are not original. There were plywood doors on here that were getting all nicked and damaged, and they were just not made of quality material, so they came off. And then for a while I had a curtain hanging here because I couldn't find doors that would fit. But then I did at a salvage yard place that was going out of business, and I got them for free. And I had to cut them down a little bit, but they're perfect. This is a very odd closet area with some built-in shelves on the bottom, but it goes really, really deep. My fuse box is actually in there. But I love the way this looks, the simplicity of it. And these strap hinges are actually from the kitchen. When I moved in and I was starting to renovate the kitchen, I took all of these strap hinges and drawer pulls off because I was going to be painting and I was going to switch up the hardware. But I kept them, and I'm glad I did because I think that looks phenomenal. Up here, my mom gave me this as a sampler that my grandmother made, she believes. And it looks old. So I thought it was adorable. These are all important pieces, you see. They mean something. And I love the fact that, you know, samplers are very, very, especially simple ones like this, very, very like early American. These duck decoys were my grandfather's. They're very, very old. This one has a date. Carry Light Decoys, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, July 1st, 1941. Okay, so, you know, it's 82 years old. Probably both of them are. All right, last but not least, do any of you remember this? Do you recognize it? This was in my shed. This is old. This came from my mom's family's farm. And before that, my dad told me that they had pulled this from, they were contractors and builders. They pulled this from an old building that was being renovated a bazillion years ago, 100 years ago. So this is probably older than 100 years, but it's, you know, solid oak. I mean, you could just tell by the grain that this is oak. So I ended up refinishing it. It weighed a ton. It still weighs a ton. Refinishing it, adding some of the trim that had been lost. So this is all new trim. And this is new trim as well. At the top, there was this trim and it had been broken. And so I pulled it off and put brand new trim on it. It's kind of like a you know, half round trim. It was a job. I had to trim the bottom too because it was very unfinished, but I think it turned out gorgeous. The stain that I used was a Minwax called Early American. And all of these drawer pulls were original. You could never see them though because they were so badly tarnished, so I cleaned them all up. This was missing 4, okay? And now there's one supposed to go here and here, here and here. They had been replaced by, you know, wooden knobs. My grandfather used whatever he could, excuse me, to just get the drawers open. So those are in the mail actually right now coming to me. It's really hard to find this style exactly, but I did. I hope they really match though. But so yeah, so my dream and when I had this in the shed was to have my seeds in it. This was going to be seed storage. Well, the mice moved in and I'm glad I never put my seeds in because they would have decimated my whole seed library. So I decided that I was going to pull it, I was going to refinish it and put it in here. And now it's housing my seeds. This is my cucumber drawer. This is for my bell peppers. And there's plenty more drawers to be pulled. Not to be pulled, to be filled. So yeah, I'll be doing that. I love these big drawers because you can store lots of things in them. This is my legume drawer. So I'm so happy about this. This room stays pretty temperate and in the winter it's kind of a cold room. So it's going to be perfect to store these seeds. And I made sure to put it on a wall that's not near a window that's going to actually, you know, get sun exposure too much. And then the heat source for the room is under that window. So it's on the other side of the room. Anyways, oh, I'm just loving this room. I've spent so much time in here. Oh yeah, one of the only things that I purchased brand new is this throw. And I love this. This has the Scandinavian kind of, this motif, this bird motif. And I thought it would look so beautiful in here. And it really, really does. The blues and the tan color kind of tie everything in. And then when winter or fall and winter hit, it's reversible. So I'll flip it over for the, look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Just love those colors. So I had to have it. I bought it and I put it away and kind of forgot about it until I got this room done, and I'm like, that's gonna go in here. It's got to. Okay, I'm not gonna make the bed while I'm on video here. So yes, that's the room. I'm so excited. And perhaps someday I'll have guests. I don't know. Maybe I'll start an Airbnb or something. So that was really like my rainy day project. The days that were nice, I was zipping out into the garden and trying to get as much done as I can. You know, weeding, planting, sowing, what have you. And then on the rainy days, I would... Sorry, a mosquito. The rainy days, I would either be in the garage working on the apothecary drawers, or I would be in the bedroom painting and cleaning and trimming and everything else. So I've been nonstop. This is, you know, usually when the weather is poor, I'm at home, you know, I don't know, knitting in front of the television or something like that, or baking, or, you know, doesn't really matter what it is. But so it's been a revolving door of projects, and finally that is all taken care of, and that is all taken care of. And now it's just a matter of upkeep. So I'm really, really happy. I'm happy that it's not even mid-July. It's the beginning of July, and now I can start to really enjoy my summer vacation. There's been one slight setback, and that is my darling little convertible. My Clementine has been in the shop since the end of May. She wasn't feeling right. She wasn't sounding right, and I knew something was amiss. So I had the car moved to way up north. There's a gentleman who actually worked on Corvairs when they first came out in 1959, and he's retired now. He's in his 80s. He's a really awesome guy, and we talk and talk for hours. Such a great guy. So I took it up to him, and he basically said to me that my motor was shot and that I would need to have it rebuilt, which would be a lot of money. And I mean, that would be something that I would probably take on by myself, but I don't have the equipment or the space to do it. So I'm gonna let Charlie take care of it for me. I'm not going to do a rebuild on it, and the reason being that he said that he actually has another motor that's in top working order, that all he needs to do is put the new seals and gaskets in and then drop it in. We're good to go. But I haven't gotten it back yet, and I am I'm heartbroken. It just hasn't felt like summer yet because I haven't been able to take Clementine out for a stroll anywhere. I've been getting into my little mini Clubman, which is, you know, works great in the winter, and it's a decent car for the summer, but it's not the same. So hopefully I'll be getting that back soon. And that, my friends, I believe is all for this video. Just to catch up, and I feel like that's what it's going to be. If I'm feeling that I have time and inspired to start a project and bring you guys along for the process, I totally will. But I think the next project I've got going on has to be a new roof for the garage and possibly a new roof for my house. So that's not going to be something that I'm going to be able to film. I can do a before and after, and that's pretty much about it. But if I think of anything else, I will let you know. I will try to also film what I'm going to be doing in the way of herbal remedies and things like that. Actually, you know what? Let's go back inside for a quick moment because I want to show you, because I've just started dipping my toe into making herbal remedies. So let's go in and just take a quick look. I know the lighting is not great in here, but I just wanted to show you another project that I've been working on, and that's making oils and salves. So I really wanted to get in, you know, I posted a couple of weeks ago about making sure that you start harvesting your herbs so that you can get your herbal apothecary up and running, so that you have treatments and medicines for yourself during the winter time. And it's a daily process, going in, to the garden, harvesting them, drying them, and then infusing your oils, and then making your salves and your creams and your ointments and things like that. So I've got some beeswax here and some of my dried herbs. I did go to the thrift shop and got myself, I don't know if you can see it very well, a little slow cooker that is dedicated just for that purpose. And I've got some oils here, not all of them, a lot of them are kind of around the house, but I did, the very first thing I made, which I was very proud of myself, is this comfrey and plantain salve. Salve. Yeah, so it turned out pretty well, and I made this for my mom primarily because her knees are in really bad shape and she's having pain. So we all know the benefits of comfrey and plantain when it comes to healing, and so the salve turned out beautifully. I did use some jasmine oil in it so that it smelled nice, and she's going to start using it, and perhaps she will have some relief. I really hope that's the case. But I'm going to be continuing to harvest my herbs and taking care of at least getting everything dried and packed away, because making these can happen. I can do that any time of the year, really. It would be a really good winter project, actually, to make these if I can just get all of my herbs dried and stored properly. So make sure you guys are doing that. If you are into doing that, do it. Okay? Now's the time. It's got to be every day. It's got to be every week. You've got to go out there and harvest your herbs and dry them, okay? Make sure that you have them. Don't let the whole season go by and then say, oh, I think I'd really like to do this, and you go out to, you know, woody plants that don't have, you know, as the good essential oils that you need. So that's that. So this could be really good content. This is something that takes time, and it's not something that I have to rush through, which is really nice, and it's indoors. So perhaps maybe this is something that I can film for you guys. If you guys are interested in home potions and brews and whatnot, and you'd like me to film it, let me know in the comments box below. I think I'm going to call that a day now, friends. Thanks so much for watching. I appreciate you being here, and I appreciate you sticking with me even with these absences that I've been having. Please remember, if you are new to the channel, please like, subscribe, and share if you can. If you're willing to, it'd be nice. Otherwise, I will see you all really, really soon. I hope you guys are enjoying your summer. It seems like it's already going too fast. Take care, everybody. So long.